Hey Stormers, welcome back to the table for Blood Spilled in Salem Part 17. And we're getting close to the end now. Either we're going to be at the end because we succeed, or we're going to get killed, I think, because we've got 3 enemies literally one location away. They're going to move there this turn. Mark is there with Father John, Reverend John, at the Forest River Park, and we just need to get one clue to turn over to advance the act, and I don't know if that's going to be the end game or not. I have no idea. I never got this far last time. So let's move on. We'll take 1 Doom token. We'll place that onto the agenda. That gives us 1, 2, 3, one on the rift. That's 4. So we've got 4 Doom tokens in play at the moment, and we'll draw a card from the normal encounter deck. Blood Seal. This doesn't sound good. It's treachery, it's an omen. So after an omen card is drawn from the encounter deck, I'm just reading from the Blood Moon one now. After an omen card is drawn from the encounter deck, we add a tablet. Well, basically, as long as we've got one of these available, we add one of those. So another one in there. Let's see what Blood Seal says. Revelation. Attached to the nearest indoors location with no Blood Seal. Now the nearest indoor location will be, well, this is the Forest River Park is connected to the Lighthouse, which is an outdoor location, and it's connected to the Federal District, which is an outdoor location. So the nearest indoor location will be the Federal District. So we'll attach that to the Federal District. Oh, we better see what it does before we just move ahead. As an additional cost to move into or out of the attached location, test willpower. If you fail, you must cancel the effects of the move. If you may raise the test difficulty to 4 to discard the Blood Seal if successful. Okay. Well, we better keep away from that location, that's for sure. So now we move on to the investigator phase. We have to take 1 Doom counter and put it on this rift. We will put 1 on this rift. That means we've got 6 in play, so definitely the agenda will advance next turn. But I'm just hoping that this will possibly be the last turn if we can get the clue. I can't remember counting through the acts if there's 4 acts or 5 acts. I just can't remember. I can see one behind it, but I think maybe that's just one I've discarded. Fingers crossed. So, Mark's turn. Now, I've looked through the discard deck, as you're allowed to do, and there should still be a perception in here. Please let there be a perception in there. So my first action is going to be... Oh man, I should go back to playing poker. Okay, so we've got perception. Let's just have a count up. So, because we need to do we need to find the last clue here. It's got a shroud value of 4. At the moment, because we've got Sophie on the negative side, that means our observation is only 1. We get 1 from the Reverend, which gives us 2, and we can commit perception, which gives us 4, and that's still 4 against 4. That ain't good. There's nothing we can do. We can't. We cannot. We haven't got any cards that will enable us to commit anything else at all. And while we've got this in this flipped over to the negative side, we can't take any damage to up our skill. So it's basically 4 against 4. I don't think we've got much of a chance. So our only other chance, I think, is to take another card and hope. I don't know. I'm going to take another card. No, I'm not. Hang on, let's think about it. If I fail on this, then I have to take another. I have to take again from the encounter cup, the chaos cup, and then I won't have the perception. So I'm going to take one more card. Oh, I should have known, because one of them is going to be a weakness there. Put drawing the sign into play in your threat area. Maximum hand size reduced by 5 while checking your hand side during the upkeep phase. Okay, well, we're going to lose a lot of those. So our last action, it's 4 against 4, and we need a 0 or a +1. Oh, hang on, this is our first. Hang on. So we've got 1 for Mark. We've got 1 because of the Reverend, that's 2. This is our first skill check, so we get 1 for the Eye of Poe, that's 3. And we've got 4, 5 for perception. So it's 5 against 4. Come on. Oh, 0. A 0. So let's just get this in order. So we use the perception. Perception means we can draw another card. We're getting close to the end of. Now we've drawn Shell Shock. For every 2 damage on you, take 1 horror. Okay, right. This could be a disaster. So we have to do this first. Revelation. For every 2 damage on you, take 1 horror. Well, we've got 5 damage, so that will count as for every 2. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we take 2 horror. So we move that, we'll put 1. Okay, we'll just make that up to 4. Okay, so we've got 4 horror on us now. Shell Shock is discarded. We get the clue from Forest Park. And we now, it doesn't say anything about okay, it doesn't say anything about being anywhere in particular, so we've done the clues and let's see what happens. Act 3B. Scouring the parks, you find arrays of hex bags and effigies in the trees that must have been used to create the link to our world. Burning enough of them seemed to be sufficient to halt the ritual and sever the anchor to the other dimension. Agatha, however, still seems distressed. It's too early to celebrate. We may have arrived too late. The seals put here are now broken. The walls between the world and the other is thinning. Whenever the next blood moon rises, her voice fades into despair. Okay, so it looks like we've done it, but not brilliant. So if the second ritual has occurred, it has, then we read Resolution 1. Let's find Resolution 1. Resolution 1. Let's put that there. Right, Resolution 1. After surveying the area, Agatha comes to the conclusion that Salem is now on the brink of collapse between the 2 worlds. The relentless battery of rituals performed here have eroded away at the natural protection the world has gained against the onslaught of the unknown. With the mayor's help, she'll be erecting new wards to give Salem time to heal and make sure this doesn't happen again. In your campaign log. Well, okay, well, it looks like we succeeded. We weren't playing as part of a campaign, but if we were, then we'd have to record that the ritualists were prevented from plunging Salem into chaos, so that's good. We don't end any experience, and because we're not doing a campaign, and proceed to additional consequences, and Salem is saved, page 12. Okay, so we're not doing a campaign, so I won't bother reading that out. But okay, looks like we managed to do it. I'm sure I made some mistakes. Like I say, I'm still not positive that I played this correctly. I know I missed a few things on the way. I'm certainly confused about the use of the judge's secret notebook, whether it just has to stay in our hand while we're using it or in our threat area. And of course, I'm a little bit confused about the fact that these Forest River Park and Highland Park mention that they cannot be revealed, because it doesn't say when you flip over the where's the last it says on the act that the veil is lifted, and we know the remaining locations, but it doesn't say we can ignore what it says on the card. But I mean, that only makes sense. I mean, literally, there aren't enough clues to be able to do that otherwise. So, okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that little playthrough. Little, it's like 17 episodes. I'll try and maybe by the time you see this, maybe you'll realise I'll put them into 2 per episode or something like that. I don't know. But okay, yeah, that was just a one-off. The next one will be the Nightwind, which will be the 3rd part of the Outsider campaign. So, if you can do with my rambling talking and very iffy camera angles, then give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll catch up with you next time for the Nightwind with Daisy and Skids. Bye for now.